that's good to put it in context. One of the other things that sometimes is often claimed about this section in 20 is that it was later interpolated by somebody who had a like a pro-Christian bent, and so they're writing it and they go, you know, this passage here, and they would say that it used to say Jesus, the son of Damnius, or and then they said, oh, that doesn't work. Let's replace that with Jesus, the brother of Jesus, the one known as Christ, and they just kind of, but that doesn't seem to work in this passage, though.
Well, again, it could be, and this is what I have to re-emphasize, is that I'm not interested in conclusions.
Sure.
It doesn't matter to me if it were James, the brother of Jesus, son of Damnius. But this is the only reference to Jesus. He's a nobody, right? Jesus, son of Damnius. He's just a name. This is the first anybody's heard of him in the story. And the last they will hear of him is when he's deposed for the next high priest. So this is in 203. By 213, he will be kicked out, and the next high priest is in. He's just a name. He's just the name of the next high priest. So if we hypothesize, okay, let's say this actually was not Jacob, the brother of the one Jesus known as Christos, who was mentioned earlier in the text, but he was the brother of this guy. Well, first of all, I don't see what problem that solves, right? Because I don't see a problem there.
Right.
But if we hypothesize that, I still don't see how it works. Why would that help? If he had said that actually back in the passage, among them was the brother of Jesus, the son of Damnius, well, how would that help explain things? Because the main point is there are a bunch of people that Ananus accused of violating the laws, right? So who would such people be, and why? I don't see why that adds anything to our information or explains anything in particular. It's not. So the point is, I'm not saying it's wrong, right? It's just the job of the historian isn't to take a position about what's right and wrong. It's to say, well, what problem am I exploring, right? First of all, tell me what the problem is. And then second, let's consider all the hypotheses that might solve that problem. And I'm simply telling you, I don't see what the problem is with the text as it is. And if one said, well, this is a solution to some problem that I haven't noticed, how does it help me? I don't see that.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's a solution in search of a problem, because the way that the text currently reads is not problematic at all. It fits Josephine's style. It fits with the story he's trying to tell in the context. And so it's not like this sticks out in some kind of odd way. Is that a fair summary?
And it fits, as far as I know, his habits of speech.
Speaking quickly,
part of the problem is, if I could just make this quick point, is that also with the bit in book 18 about Jesus, right? You have, I think, the vast majority of opinions about that and elaborate discussions are not from people who work with Josephus every day, and they're not dealing with Antiquities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their interest is in early Christianity or something like that, or not early Christianity, or whatever it is they're interested in. And then they come and seize on this passage, whichever one it is, in 18 or 20, and they have all kinds of interesting, creative, ingenious hypotheses about them. But the problem is, let me give you an example. I've just finished editing the commentary to Antiquities 18 to 20 by my colleague in Jerusalem, Professor Daniel Schwartz. And, he's an Orthodox Jew. He's writing, an Israeli. He's writing about this stuff. He doesn't have any Christian inclinations or reasons to support Christianity, but he takes a what I would consider normal view of these texts. He doesn't see a problem with them. Even the one in 18. actually. Now, obviously, there's something fishy with that one statement, he was the Christos, because it doesn't even say he was known as the Christos, it just says he was Christos. So that's a bit of an odd formulation, and we need to explain that. But aside from that, he just thinks passage pretty much makes sense coming from Josephus, but he's somebody who works in Josephus all the time, and Josephus' texts are full of surprises everywhere, all the way through war, antiquities. If you're used to that kind of thing, you're not so inclined to turn to deductive reasoning about these passages and say, well, why would he say that? That doesn't make any sense. Right. Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense to you, maybe, but if you're familiar with his normal way of doing things, it's not actually. There are a lot bigger surprises in book 2 of the war, book 4 of the war, all kinds of loose hanging threads and things like that. So